I don't know what you just said.
I said anytime you, anytime you
Hold on.
breathe or I'll wait till you're done.
Yeah, just a second. Like, I'm trying to... Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, that was fun. Alright, Alright, I think we're live. What were you trying to say, though, Michael?
Are we live?
Yes, because you said, I'll wait till you're done, but does it really matter, or can we...
No. If we're live, we'll talk. I'll tell you later. Okay. I haven't seen any notifications come through yet.
Okay, well, yeah, like I said, at least my sound's good, so that's, But my neighbors are moving out today.
There we go.
Neighbors.
So that did show up.
That what?
Windows 365 review and use cases.
Yep.
Very nice.
That was the best title that vidIQ gave me, so.
Excellent. Well, let's do this thing. So.
All right, we're live.
Yep, we are live. So welcome everybody to another Techopolis live episode. This is kind of impromptu. So I'm here with Taylor.
Hello, everyone.
So we wanted to play around with some Windows 365 stuff, and we figured we would do it on a live stream. So what I have is an iPad Pro, the M1 iPad Pro, which is kind of amazing, and it works really, really well, and I'm loving it. So we are going to play around with, we're going to try Restream, and I'm going to see if I can get chats working, where it will play out chat messages. So
if y'all are watching, chat us.
Yep, that's our research topic for today. Taylor has her setup going.
Yep.
So yeah, chat us and see if it works for her.
And I'm going to explain my setup because, we had to go do something this week, but I will explain that in a second.
Oh, go ahead. Do that while I'm getting my stuff set up.
Okay, I was just chatting myself. I really like this Restream, though.
Yeah, Restream's pretty cool.
All right, so this week my MacBook Pro decided it was going to be end of its life. I had a 2017 MacBook Pro. Not very powerful. I mean, it was enough for, like being a student, right? But it was never meant for this professional workload that I run every day. So, what was it, Michael? Was it Thursday? I think, right? Thursday. My Mac, first Wednesday night, my headphone jack was kind of messed up. And then we had a whole bunch of other issues, Michael. Do you remember what all happened? Because that day was kind of so crazy. I can't even remember what happened that day.
Yeah, I can't remember all the things that we had happened, but it was a lot.
Basically, a lot of things weren't working. So, I decided that I was going to... Whoops. Okay, there we go. I was going to, get something different, right? So basically what ended up happening is that I knew that I needed a new computer. And Windows 365 came out on Monday of last week. So, or August 2nd. Was that last week, Michael?
That what came out?
Was that last week, August 2nd?
Yes.
Yes, man, it's just been such a long week. So Windows 365, and for those who don't know, Windows 365 is a PC in the cloud. Basically, it's only available for businesses right now, but what it will allow you to do is it will allow you to stream your Windows computer in the cloud from any device. And it's almost like a computer in the cloud. It's almost like basically you can pick it up on any device, including Michael's iPad and my Mac, with remote desktop RDP protocol, or you can use the browser. And for those screen reader users out there, spoiler alert, don't use it in the browser unless you absolutely must use it in the browser. So that is just a spoiler alert for everyone. But don't use it in the browser unless absolutely necessary, because it doesn't work very well. Especially you don't have a Windows key, and certain keys don't get passed through properly, and a bunch of other issues. So use the remote desktop client. Hopefully I'm not taking over this, Michael, but
Oh, it's fine.
use the remote desktop. You have to use Microsoft's official client, though. That is a word of warning. You must use Microsoft's official client, because what they do is they add it as a workspace, which basically means that you have a URL that you sign into, and then you sign in with your Microsoft account, which has to be on a Microsoft 365 for business. Is it standard? Is that the minimum, Michael?
Business standard is the minimum, and if you want to be able to use the Office apps, you need Business Premium.
Yes.
We found that out the hard way.
Oh, yes.
So if you try to open Word in the standard, it will say that your license does not allow for shared computing experiences.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I would like to see. So I haven't shared my screen yet, but I do have Windows 365 up. If we could fire off a chat message, or if somebody in our audience could chat us, and that way we can test our research here.
Somebody is watching on Taylor's Tech Talks, I think, or it could be myself. I don't know. But if any of you guys are all watching, shoot us off a chat message, and we're gonna see if it reads.
And if you want to send one, Taylor, that would work too. Anything
Okay.
that would. I haven't seen this work. Now, one thing I'm noticing is that the volume is very low in Windows. So it's weird how it just turns the volume down a lot whenever you're doing that in when you have remote desktop open. And I will talk about a solution that I'm looking at for text-to-speech that I might try and pay 1 month for to help out with my game streaming, but I want to see how this works first.
Yeah, and again, but here's the thing. I think that like I said, Streamlabs and other things are great, but I think, like I said, there's different tools for different jobs, right? We talk about this all the time.
Mm-hmm. The neat thing that I like about Streamlabs is I think their iOS app even supports text-to-speech, so that's really neat. I don't know about their guest support though. That's the one thing that the what it always comes down to is getting the right tool for the right job for the right price.
Okay, so I'm having trouble sending chats to myself, so let me go with my Windows 365. I can't seem to send stuff to myself for some reason. But
I love it because I can have Zoom open and be it's weird. I think Zoom has your automatic gain control still on for some reason, because it's whenever I start talking, it brings up your background audio, and that's interesting.
Yeah, it's off.
That's interesting. I don't know what's causing that to happen, but
there is a lot of background noise around here right now. So
Yeah.
that's what I was afraid of, because everyone is moving. For those who don't know, college apartment move in and move out season is approaching us. So there's going to be a lot of background noise, but I think that's what's happening, Michael, because there's a lot of background noise. So even after I turn off auto gain control, there's still just a lot of background noise going on around here.
No. It's actually like whenever I'm talking, it's coming up.
Jason Earls is fighting with a chat box.
Oh, and I did hear that come through. So that was neat. So that was really cool. Yeah, I'm it's kind of neat. And I'm kind of wondering now if I go back to.
Man, that chat latency is like less than 2 seconds.
It is very good. I mean, that is very fast.
Yes. But yeah, it's very fast. I'm super impressed.
I just wish that Restream would make a version of that for other platforms. That would be nice.
That would be, but yeah, that'd be really nice. It would. But yeah.
The other neat thing though is that it does have very high contrast, so it's kind of nice.
Ah, that is nice.
So yeah, I'm using Windows 365 on my iPad, and I'm able to actually do everything in Windows, and Visual Studio loads really quickly. So I'm going to go share my screen and let people be able to see what we're doing.
But I gotta let you do that first. Gotta love Zoom, right, y'all? Because you have to let people share their screens.
Permissions are a good thing.
Yeah, it is.
A bad thing to have to go through all the work to make work, but a good thing once they do work.
Michael, you are free to share your screen. But yeah, if anybody's watching, feel free. Ask us questions. This is a very interactive stream. I think, very interactive. So feel free to ask us questions and, join in on the conversation. Okay. So. All right, so Michael's screen sharing. And apparently my Zoom controls when Michael starts sharing a screen are gone. That's wonderful. Michael?
I'm still here.
Oh, you are. Are you sharing sound?
It should be sharing sound. It does not give that
option. Oh, we do not hear it.
I don't have a screen reader running.
Oh, well, that would explain it.
But somebody, so Taylor, send another chat message. Let's see if it comes through, because I have Windows 365 in focus now.
Okay, I can send another one. Or anybody else who beats me to it.
Right. We had Jason in the stream, so I'm hoping that all of you guys that are doing the Sortie Quest Gamecast have a lot of fun with that. I think that's going to be a great show, and I can't wait to hear it. Also, I will probably get to level 40 today. Just saying.
What do you think? Whoops. Where am I at here? Okay. All right. Let me send another stream here. Or chat.
It said it came from restream.io. Hi, all.
Oh, you actually got that.
Yeah, that showed up. Did it read it out loud?
Not for me, but that's probably because I sent it.
I didn't know if it would read it out loud because of the screen
No,
share.
we didn't hear it out. I did not hear it out loud on my end or on the remote end.
I didn't hear it either, but I wasn't listening.
Oh, well.
It's really quiet when it comes through, so.
Is there some kind of like audio ducking that you have on, Michael?
No. Remote desktop, whenever you're in a call like Zoom, it makes the audio really quiet in remote desktop, which, if you're listening, Microsoft, is something that could really be fixed.
Jason Earls. Should be fun.
Ah.
Oh, I heard Jason Earls.
Is really annoying. Hopefully Google will fix it soon.
I just heard Jason say it should be fun.
And what did you hear the rest of it though?
Something about Google.
This chat box issue is really annoying. If you're listening, Google, you might want to fix it.
Okay. Did that come through the screen share?
It did, but I also got it at the same time. Literally, so I had it reading. David was reading it on my end, and Zero was reading it on your end.
So that's cool that it did come through. So that's great.
Yes. But yeah, David was reading it on my end.
On your end, yeah. So this is really neat. This is a neat little setup. So yeah, this is Windows 365, and so I'm going to turn on NVDA.
You're turning on NVDA.
Desktop list. NVDA 3 of 9.
I hear it.
See, that was pretty fast, wasn't it?
Yes.
So I'm going to start up Visual Studio, and I'm going to show you guys how fast this starts.
NVDA.
Well, I say I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Well, my Windows key worked earlier. I'm not sure why it's not now.
You can do command, or it's not. What do you mean it worked earlier?
I was able to use my command key, and it's not working.
Wait, you were able to use your command key?
Yeah, to get to the Windows key. I'm on remote desktop.
Desktop.
Right.
Desk. Desk. J. Hi all.
We have a, there we go.
Desk.
Michael?
Yeah, I'm working on something real quick. Give me a moment.
Oops. I about removed you from the meeting. That's wonderful. That's awesome.
Desktop. Start window.
There we
Search
go.
window.
My keyboard
Search box
focus was
edit blank.
outside of the remote desktop. So
Visual Studio Bing work Microsoft.
that was
Loading
great,
complete.
Windows. Good
Search
job.
window.
Good
Search
job.
box close. Desktop. Start. Find Visual Studio Code. App. Press right to switch preview. Visual Studio Code. Visuals.
You know,
Backspace.
it's picking up your keyboard really loud.
Oh, really? Well, see, that's what
Oh,
I
yeah.
wanted to test as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember we were talking about the auto gain?
Yeah.
Visual Studio.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to test.
Desktop.
So yeah,
No.
and again, I'm also typing that in Windows 365 as well.
Visual Studio
But
2.
I can't
Microsoft Visual
fix
Studio
the
Community
settings because
2019.
because
Desktop.
VoiceOver is not focusing on the settings,
Wonderful.
and that is a very loud
Window.
moving truck.
Search control grouping collapsed.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Alt.
noise around here.
So I
Alt
just
plus
launched
S.
Visual Studio,
Press
and it was
Alt plus down to navigate
very
any
fast.
recent search terms blank. Clone. Open recent. Enter. Open recent list. Today grouping expanded 1 of 1. Test app.slnc. Users Michael Doy source repos test app button last. Open recent list R. Rest ream chat document.
That audio seems a little bit choppy, Michael. Is that just me hearing it through Zoom, or is it a little bit choppy in the browser?
I'm not. Well, I'm in RDP, and it's not choppy for
Not
me.
browser. Sorry, I keep saying that.
It might be through Zoom, but it's not. I'm not hearing it be choppy.
Okay.
Now the weird thing is, one of the things that I'm seeing is, if I press tab,
Microsoft Visual Studio.
it's
Ready.
not tab is not behaving properly, and I think Microsoft needs to address that issue. Another strike against them. It's going between the remote desktop window and the controls in iOS. So the remote desktop controls at the top of the screen. That's great and all, but that needs to be a different keystroke than just tab.
And maybe, Michael, it'd be worth, I'm not sure, maybe we should like mention Microsoft or mention somebody on Twitter on the accessibility of that and like have them like, watch this.
Yeah, we
review.
probably should send them this stream because
Yes,
there are definitely some problems with
that could be
remote.
addressed.
Yeah, with remote desktop, because I feel like narrator does work in this, but accessing it and using controls as a blind user is pretty much. I mean, it can be done. It's not great though.
No. And I would try to change these stupid settings, but I can't because your screen is taking too much space. And VoiceOver has had a mind of its own.
Well, when a screen is being shared, there are different screen controls instead of what's on the screen without the screen being shared.
Yeah, VoiceOver is having a mind of its own.
Test nav main page dots.
So it's interesting.
Tab. Tab. Enter.
What are you doing, Michael?
Yeah, it's almost impossible unless there's something I'm missing.
Test app build. Test app Microsoft Visual Studio. Toolbar dock top.
So what is the objective of this?
Girl.
The objective
Don't
is
seem to be choppy audio.
Jason doesn't seem to be hearing choppy audio. Okay, so probably that's a Zoom thing, then.
that's interesting because
On my end.
yeah, it must be something with Zoom on your side.
Well, you gotta love my apartment Wi-Fi, you know.
Did you ever get off public Wi-Fi, by the way?
Oh, you know what?
Jason Earls. Oh, I lied.
I lied.
The chat
The
was
chat
choppy.
was choppy. Oh, yeah, I think I'm off public. Because it did that thing where it shares the signal between the two.
Restore down. Test app Microsoft Visual Studio.
Wait, why is it connecting my hotspot? Hold on.
Is it?
Is it? No, that can't be happening.
It'll show your hotspot, but it may not be connected to it.
I don't know what it's connected to right now, but I don't really want to find out. Because I don't want to ruin the stream. Do I sound good, though? Either way.
Yeah, you sound okay.
Again, you gotta love the noise, but that's what I mean, is my signal coming through?
Yeah, you're fine.
Alright, well, I'm gonna leave it. I would change those, settings, but,
Notifications.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure what's going on with my remote desktop.
oh?
Test app Microsoft Visual Studio window. Tab control. Main page.xml tab selected 1 of 1. Grid selected.
Yeah, sometimes Apple's Magic Keyboard is not the best keyboard. Especially, and here's the other thing, folks. You can remap keys, you can do those kind of things, but the Apple Magic Keyboard, one of the problems that it has is it does not have a row of F keys. It doesn't have an escape key. So, and it has the globe key. I don't know if that can be used as function or not. But
What is the globe key anyways? What is that?
It's where you can pick emojis and do other things. It's
you know what? That's probably that crazy thing I keep hitting. And I'm like, what the world is that?
Yeah,
I think that I need to get rid of that thing because I keep hitting it too many times.
On Mac OS, that's the function key, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
and you can change the function of that in
Jason
system
Earls.
preferences.
It's just like the one on your Mac, Taylor.
It's just like the one on your Mac.
Yep.
But it's interesting just because it's the Magic Keyboard's great for typing, but it's not great for anything else. But if you are a screen reader user, the NVDA touch controls,
touch gestures.
Yeah, touch gestures work really well.
Now, Michael, are you in a XAML designer view right now, or are you in a regular
Yep.
code file?
I'm in a XAML design view.
What if you were to go in regular code? Show users how that would read, if you can even get there.
XMLNSMC equals http://schemas.openxmformats.org/markup compatibility.
I would like to, but my keyboard is not responding.
What? Something about SSH.
Less page X.
What, Michael?
I didn't say anything. I don't have. Hang on.
Test app Microsoft Visual Studio. Less page.
Jason Earls. The touch controls work using NVDA?
Yes.
Holy SSH.
Oh!
That's awesome.
Oh!
What?
Oh! Okay. Sorry, Jason. When you said SSH, my first thought was,
Oh, I get it
secure
now.
shell.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry, I was like, whoa. But this chat, though, is working amazing.
15. Double tap.
15. Are those line numbers, Michael?
Yes, and I can navigate them with NVDA touch gestures.
Huh.
2-finger tap.
So
15. Hover.
Now I want to
Hover.
remote into your
Hover.
iPad, Michael.
Hover.
Okay,
Ho-
that's weird.
Wow.
Hover.
What is
As
that?
an
Hover.
So I'm going to stop in.
Are you going to be able to get that to stop?
Hover.
We're about to get it to stop.
Yeah, you might have to.
Test app Microsoft Visual Studio. Toolbar dock top.
Toolbar
So-
dock top. That's an interesting label, Microsoft.
Right. So here's the problem, though. NVDA touch gestures are great, but they read everything you're doing. So
Yeah.
if you drag your finger over something, it's just going to say hover the whole time that you're doing it. So, yeah, that there has to be some configuration there, but it sounds like it would work really well.
I think there are some NVDA touch settings, Michael. If you go under NVDA preferences and you go in there, I would do it, but my NVDA key. Oh, wait. Do you have an NVDA key, Michael? That's the next question I was going to ask.
I do not.
Jason Earls. I would think you could customize that.
Yes, you can, Jason. And that's what we're about ready to show. So, Michael, go to the system tray and go to NVDA. Because there are some touch
2-finger
preferences.
tap. Ready. Notification chevron button. Double tap. Press NVDA button. Hover. Tool. Less page X class equals.
See, I've got to do
test
this
app
with the
main
keyboard.
page
I mean, with the mouse,
XMLNS
because everything
equals
else isn't working.
HTTP
You can't use tab?
NVDA.
No, remember, tab is going, for whatever reason right now, going to the different things in remote desktop, not on the keyboard.
Not on the keyboard. So, does remote desktop have keyboard access?
Yes, it does. And I can usually type, but that's not working for whatever reason.
Yeah, I guess, well, normally I wouldn't say use a mouse, but for this sake of clarity, right, for a review purpose, let's just see if that fixes the issue. Right, because then we could be like,
Jason Earls. It's doing that because of iPad OS.
oh, because of iPad OS?
So there's input gestures. I see that as settings. There's settings, speech dictionary, punctuation, and input gestures. Should I go to input
Jason
gestures?
Earls. I don't know how much Microsoft would be able to fix on that front.
Yes, they can fix all of it because the tab part is part of the remote desktop application. But also, I don't know. I'm not seeing the controls to change it, but there is controls to change from from touchscreen to mouse, and I'm wondering if I'm not seeing those, so I don't know if that's the problem or not. Let me actually try something else. Hang on.
Input gestures dialog. Tree view. Level 0 Braille collapsed 1 of 18.
Okay, we're gonna crash. We're gonna close remote desktop because it's
All right, so I
acting
just
strange.
changed some more settings, Michael, because they're going to be doing some more moving. I just heard my neighbor say, we're doing some more moving. So I just changed some settings so that hopefully it'll be better because there's going to be a lot of noise.
I haven't noticed much of a change, but hang on, we're gonna try to.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying I just changed it. Yeah, you may be able to. I haven't either, Jason. I have not been able to use NVDA with touch either.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, that's one of the neat things,
Input
with
gestures
this.
dialog.
Michael, I'm going to go in the
Braille
NVDA user's
collapsed
manual
1 of 18
because I know
level
that there's a
0.
bunch of touch
Braille
commands.
collapsed 1 of 18 level 0.
As long as my keyboard's not too loud. But there's a lot of commands that you can change. I just have never used it, but if I go in the manual, you know what I'm saying?
Touch screen, system, speech.
This is touch screen.
Input gestures.
Yes, it did.
Input gesture.
Okay.
Browse mode. Browse mode collapsed 2 of 18 level
Why
0.
is my keyboard not working?
Backspace. T. Text review collapsed. T. Tools collapsed 6. T. Touch screen collapsed 17 of 18 level 0.
What's in there?
See, I can do all of that with a keyboard. For whatever reason, I'm not able to make any. I can't use my right arrow to expand that or anything. No wonder if that's a magic keyboard limitation.
Now, Michael, do you have another
Object
Bluetooth keyboard available
tool,
to you?
Touch screen.
I do, but it's not charged up at the moment.
Okay, because I'd be curious to see
I kind
if
of
that's a
doubt it.
magic keyboard limitation or if that's a limitation of Bluetooth keyboards in general with the iPad for this.
Well, yeah, I don't know. And this, well, the thing is, this is a, this is an attached keyboard, so it's interesting.
Clicks the right mouse button at the current touch position. Cycles between available touch mode. Reports the new object. Clicks the right touch screen. Clicks the right mouse button at the current touch position. This is cycles between available touch modes. Reports the new object or content under your finger if different to where your finger. Reports the object and content directly under your finger.
These labels. These are all tree view items that it's reading.
Toggles the support of touch interaction. Level 1 reports the
Yeah, it's a tree view because you can like
toggles
add
the
custom
support of
gestures
touch
here.
interaction.
But you can't expand anything though, can you?
I have to do it all with the mouse.
That is not good.
NVDA plus Alt plus Control plus T, keyboard, all layouts. Toggles the support
And I can't even
of touch
change these things because
interaction.
I don't have the controls to do that. Let me see if I can go into remote desktop and change any settings here.
Input gesture, test app Microsoft, toolbar dock top.
We're right now, folks, we are just doing some research. If you guys in the chat would like to suggest anything or have any ideas, please do so.
Or if you want us to try something.
Yep, and we can do that. Windows 365 is so new. There's not a, and I kind of feel like even on the accessibility side of things, there should have been some more documentation for this stuff.
Yes, there should be a lot more documentation, right? Or just because right now there's not a lot of anything, right? And so, Michael, you know what also might be not such a bad idea is to write some of this stuff up in an article, at least the summary points of what we think about Windows 365, right? Because we overall, I've been able
Jason
to.
Earls. Do you think enable keyboard access in your keyboard settings would help at all?
Oh, Michael, the other thing to check is what keyboard layout is NVDA trying to use. Are you using laptop?
It's not even that. I can't, the Windows keyboard options are not being used.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not
really?
even that. And that was weird. The chat was choppy for me that time.
Not me.
Yeah, it was choppy for Zira. I wonder why that is. I guess because I'm using Windows 365 on RDP.
Well, I am too.
Oh, that's true. Uh-huh.
That's odd, right?
Jason Earls. When it was enabled, it allowed for keyboard commands to work when using Quinton's Playroom on the web.
When what was enabled?
Yeah, when...
Co-enman selection comment toolbar dock top note of close. Microsoft Visual Studio main save don't save button pressed alt clicks. Desktop list recycle bin 1 of 9.
Jason Earls.
Desk emulated system
keyboard access.
Config desktop close desktop.
Now I do wonder. Hang on a second. I'm going to exit NVDA.
Taskbar 86 remote desktop 80 desktop 86 degree notificate NVDA exit NVDA.
I had this work. Something is misconfigured because I had this working this morning.
You did. You had it all working this morning?
Yes.
But it's not working now, is it?
No, something is causing it not to work.
Yeah, and then we're gonna also talk about the Mac side as well. But yeah, that's odd, Michael, because there's definitely some Mac bugs. There's actually a lot of Mac bugs.
Actually, if you want to switch over and kind of show your setup, and I can stop screen sharing, research this, and that way you could talk about your setup.
Yeah, go ahead. So we'll switch positions. Okay. So, all right. So sorry guys, my keyboard was really loud, and yours is probably gonna come through as well, Michael, when you're trying to research this. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to talk about Windows 365 on the Mac. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to share sound. Oh, and we have some classic Mac permissions. Whoops. That's something about the Mac. Michael, you're going to start that now, aren't you?
What's that?
Bacon wrapped jalapenos. Michael?
What about? Oh, Michael B. I thought you
Yeah,
were talking to
your own
me.
pay. Sorry, yeah, your own pay.
And now I want those too. But I can
Michael,
get those.
your own pay. Y'all, why do you have to keep doing this? Because now you're going to make us want to try to get things, and then we're not going to be able to get them because DoorDash is being slow. So I don't know why y'all think you want to do that, but I'm just saying. You know, so let me go ahead and me. All right. And share screen if I can.
Oh, now it works. Well, ha. I'm already hungry.
No.
Oh.
Oh. Whoa. Y'all better watch it. Oh, y'all better watch it. Because I bet you won't be able to hack anything. And meanwhile, we're going to, well, just don't hack my Mac. That's all I ask. Although right now, Zoom is like, hey, you can't screen share, and you're not going to show up in the system preferences.
Yeah, and
That
now
is-
that I'm not screen sharing, I can use my start menu.
Really? Are you serious?
Yes, and my arrow keys.
Are you serious? Wait, are you absolutely kidding me right now?
No, I am not kidding you now.
And how's my audio? Is it a lot better?
It's fine.
Yeah. That is so strange. Okay. So, once my Mac decides to cooperate, it's being slow. But yeah, y'all better watch out, because, you know,
Then it stopped again. Something I'm doing is causing that to happen.
what'd you say?
Now it stopped again. Something's causing that to happen. So let me research this.
Yeah, inspect this. And I'm going to try to inspect why, my Mac isn't letting me share the screen and why it's not letting me, do that. But yeah, so that's interesting. So is it like a screen share bug with like Zoom and that not playing nice together?
No, there's a keystroke that I'm hitting that's causing this to happen that I have to research. So,
Okay. Once I
yeah.
can share my screen, then I'll go ahead and do my part. But my Mac has decided that it's funny because I already gave these permissions before stream, and it's like actually you didn't.
Well, the one thing I've noticed, did you try to add it manually before stream or did you just give it permissions?
I gave it permissions, but now it doesn't even show up at all. So
You may have to make me host because it'll probably ask you to restart.
oh. I'm gonna make Michael host and let's see. Don't you love when things don't cooperate with you?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Isn't it awesome? Okay, I'm gonna be right back, y'all, and I will join the stream in a second once I figure out why my Zoom is deciding it wants to be funny. Yeah, right? Uh-huh. All right, I'll be back in just a second.
It got quiet. So yeah, it's very interesting what welcome. We've got quite the crowd on here now. So yeah, Taylor's restarting. She'll be back. I think it'd be funny if I had to allow her access back to the meeting that she started. So and it's interesting because this remote desktop app is great for Restream to be able to hear text to speech. I'm going to be doing a live stream later, and I'm going to be checking out Streamlabs because that service looks really neat. Nice. Welcome, folks. Welcome. We are trying out Windows 365, and especially as it goes to accessibility. And it's interesting because NVDA and all that stuff works, and it works really good on the desktop. Welcome back, Taylor.
Thank you. I saw we had some chat messages. That's awesome. I was not even in the meeting, and I could hear the chat messages.
Yeah, and we were just talking about, we have 5 people, and that's awesome. And we're trying to figure out this stuff, especially on iOS, and there's some Mac issues as well.
Which I'm going to get into once my Mac actually decides that it wants to be cooperative and not just be kind of a rebel.
And it also switched off your original audio, just FYI.
Yeah, I figured it would. All right.
Your screen sharing. Move to bottom button. Your screen
And
sharing.
your webcam.
Oh, and my webcam. Yeah.
Move your screen. You are sharing sound from your computer.
All
Image.
right. Well, at least I can share sound
Your
now.
image. Stop share button. Image.
So that's helpful.
So
let me go ahead and
move to bottom button.
let me see. Oh, I'm going to stop.
Your share space with empty scroll area.
Hold on.
Empty scroll area. Zoom.us. Zoom share.
Let me
Your image.
stop sharing.
Stop share button.
I just want to make sure I can at least share screen, but I can. So turn that on. Can you still hear me, Michael?
Oh, yes.
All right. And my phone just keeps blowing up. Oh, it's just what? Okay. So now let me do this for the last time. All right.
You have started screen share. Zoom.us has new system. Mute. Audio. Stop. Video.
All right.
Asijev Warp Claw. Oh, that is interesting. It shows a caption of what screen reader is saying and your webcam is working.
Shows a caption of what the screen reader is saying.
Like closed captioning, I guess.
I don't have speech viewer enabled, Asijev, so that's interesting because for those who don't know speech viewer, and I can show it up. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to show it off because my NVDA key is kind of broken. But what basically it is a place where somebody can literally see what's being visually outputted from the screen reader.
Jason
in
Earls.
words.
Yeah. Voiceover, I bet.
Voiceover. So voiceover. Oh, you know what? It's probably those visual panels. Well, actually, in this case, Michael, it actually is helpful, right? Because when we're going to show these issues, it'll be interesting. That way they can see what voiceover is saying. The visual panels, remember, for voiceover.
Right.
So actually, I'm going to leave that on. Don't you think?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, because that way y'all can see what's going on. Now, I'm going to show you some issues. So let's talk about overall. How is remote desktop on a Mac? Well, and how is Windows 365? Well, it is pretty good, if I might add. There are a few issues that we'll need to take into consideration, and I'm going to go through those, and I'm going to show you real examples. But overall, Windows 365 is very helpful. Now, how is the remote desktop, the RDP client? Well, there's a lot to be desired there. So Windows 365, when it works awesome. When the remote desktop client isn't, crazy. But there are a few issues that really hamper use of Windows at this point that I'm going to go over. So the first thing I'm going to show is the dreaded voiceover bug. And this is the name that I came up with. I don't know, Michael, if we actually came up with a name for it. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
No, actually.
The bug where it crashes. So, actually, first what I'm going to do, because I don't really want to restart my desktop, but in order to show this, basically what happens is when you first launch remote desktop, what it will do is it will, VoiceOver will crash. So when you open up remote desktop and you connect to your Windows 365 computer, VoiceOver will literally make the thing like, it'll open, but it will disappear within 5 seconds or less. Remember, Michael, where it shows it, but what?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what you actually have to do is turn off VoiceOver, and then you have to do, Control right twice?
No, you could do that with VoiceOver on.
But not the first time. You can't do
Not
that
the first time. Yeah.
No. So, of course, I'm going to try to show this on stream, and I probably won't be able to get it to work. You know how that goes. But I want to show you, like, especially if Microsoft ends up watching this, which, let me know in the chat if you all want us to, because we said this earlier, we're probably going to send them this stream, the Microsoft Accessibility and whatever, so it'd be cool if I could replicate this live so that they could see what we mean, especially for the remote desktop client. So I'm going to go ahead and try to replicate this. Doesn't that sound like a good idea, Michael?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to close out what I have right now on remote desktop. I won't have chats for a minute, but Michael will. So what I'm going to do,
Microsoft Remote Desktop Beta. Microsoft Remote Desktop Beta. Cloud
and I
PC.
am running the beta, just because that's just what happened to work. And you've noticed that right now it works, right? I've got Restream going and everything, right? That's awesome. But I'm going to shut this down. At least I'm not going to shut it down per se. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get out of this. So I'm just going to, let's see. I'm going to
Out of table button
want
schedule
to
event.
restart or.
Restream chat row 1 column 1. Restream chat document.
And the other thing is, like,
Folder view CPU /8 GB /128 GB window. Empty scroll area.
and there's VoiceOver. See, normally what would be the best idea is to turn VoiceOver off, because VoiceOver will sometimes read things, which isn't all bad, but in some instances it will conflict. So let's see. I'm gonna go ahead. I think I should sign out. I think that might be the best way. Wouldn't you think, Michael? Just sign out.
Of remote desktop or where?
Yeah.
Tell it disconnect.
Disconnect.
Don't sign out.
Okay. Say what?
Yeah, don't sign out. Just go to disconnect.
All right. Well, let me see if I can even find that. Because
Start window. Search
Use
window.
your Windows key, go to power, and go
Press
to
right to list preview 1 to 1.
okay.
All apps pin tiles list. Office group. Search window. Search box edit blank. Start list. Toggle start navigation menu items collect. User account for quizzes list. Dot pictures 2 of free. Settings 3 of free. Power. All apps list. Convert.octa.x new. Start list. Toggle start navigation menu user quizzes pictures settings 3 of free. Power. Disconnect 1 restart 2 of 2. Disconnect 1 of space with
So I
application messages.
disconnected.
Zoom.us, Safari, Discord, Finder, and Terminal.
And what I'm going to do is, the only reason I was saying sign out is because, well, again, you almost think you're on a regular PC, right? Because disconnect, what that will do is that will basically end your current session, right? So disconnect is kind of, that's what you would do in a remote environment. I just, basically sign out is kind of what you would do, like, normally just, log out. But what you actually want to do is disconnect. Does that kind of make sense? Do we have any chats, Michael?
I haven't heard any at this point.
Okay, so if I don't hear any chats, so disconnect is what y'all will want to do. Now, I'm going to log into my remote desktop, and I'm going to actually stop sharing so that way I can put in my password. Something to note here, but before I do that, though, something to note is that you will want to put in your Microsoft account password of the Office 365 account where you made the cloud PC. In other words, say that I have an account, taylor@taylorernst.com. It'll be that Windows or Microsoft password. That will be your computer password. So the password you use for your Microsoft account is the same password you will use for the computer on the remote desktop, the workspace. So hopefully that wasn't a bunch of gibberish, but let me go ahead and log in. But before I do,
Zoom.us, one web, Safari.
I want to show you
Safari, post attendee,
how
Zoom, Zoom.us, Zoom,
we
messages,
can
2
do
items.
this. So
Zoom.us, Zoom, Microsoft Remote Desktop Beta.
what we're going to do
Microsoft Remote Desktop Beta.
is I'm going to close
Zoom.us,
this
Zoom share toolbar, Finder.
fully.
Finder, applications
And
window,
I'm gonna
scroll area,
close
close
that,
window.
and I'm gonna
Zoom.us, 1
close-
item. Discord, 152 items.
I should Discord open so people could try to
Discord, quit, Finder,
people
desktop,
were
Zoom.us,
sending
1
messages
item.
in there.
Zoom.us,
But
doc.
what I'm going to do is I'm going
Finder,
to go
open,
to
128.
Finder and then
Finder.
Applications.
Sidebar. Inside applications. Out. Scroll area.
Desktop.
Mail application. Maps application. Message. Microsoft Remote Desktop Beta application.
Beta.
August 3rd. Open. Application. Microsoft Remote Desktop Beta. Window. Toolbar.
Okay, I'm in a toolbar, so I'm going to do VO right.
Table. No selection.
Interact.
In table. Cloud PC Business 2 vCPU /8
Another thing I did to make my life easier is I put this in list view. There are two different views here. There's list and there's grid. And something I did to make my life a lot easier and that I've noticed work better is I actually put it in list view. Because grid view, sometimes I couldn't actually activate the PC. I couldn't actually press enter on it. It wouldn't pull it up. Is that, you know what I'm saying, Michael? Like,
Welcome to the stream, Lauren.
so does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So basically, in other words, there's a setting where it says grid and list. And I like to put mine in list view because that makes a lot more sense. And because I'm able to click on it.
Honestly, that's always a good idea to do for even like if you're doing a like I like if I'm even doing File Explorer or Finder.
I know, yeah.
View. And so it kind of goes the same way.
Yep. So I'm going to press enter.
Now in Cloud PC Business 2 vCPU /8/128 in dialog password secure edit
And
text.
you know,
Enter.
this, okay. And again, my voiceover is probably way too fast, but isn't it? Well, but the point of this is to show the remote desktop. The name that this gives it though, or business PC 2 gigabytes of, or 4 gigabytes of, whatever. That's a long, weird name, right? It'd be nice if you could rename it.
You can.
Okay, you can. So
Yes,
yeah.
you can. You have to do it in, like, you're going to go windows365.microsoft.com. If you go and find your PC there, there's an option to rename in there.
And that's something that I'd recommend for anybody. I just didn't do it yet. But yeah, always rename it because that'll be a long title. So I'm going to go ahead
if you have more than one.
Yes. But I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen for just a second so that I can enter this password. And then I will be back on the other side.
Finder. Zoom.us 1 new item. Zoom.6 participate. Poll. New share. Pause. Annotate. Remote control apps button. More button. More button. More apps. Remote annotate button. Pause share button.
This is a lot less confusing than explaining taxes to a 15-year-old. Interesting.
Actually, I just paused share, Michael. Did that do anything? Am I sharing?
I need to go back over to Zoom. Hang on.
I just paused it, but I want to make sure that it actually worked.
It says Taylor Arndt is starting screen share. That's what it says for me.
Okay, so that means starting, so you can't see anything then.
Correct.
All right, so I'm going to go to my handy friend 1Password here to log in. I love 1Password. If you all aren't using it, you should. Very helpful tool.
Well, we can't wait to hear them, Michael. The stories that he has for us on Discord later, he says.
Uh-oh. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to log into this.
I do kind of wish that it would tell us what channel. It says that it's from YouTube, but I'm assuming people are on Techopolis, but I'm not sure which.
They could be on Taylor's Tech Talks because that's the
what
URL I
I know.
linked it to.
I know. Well, it's on both, but I'm just curious, because we're looking at chats from all across where these are being shared. So I'm curious where people are sharing these from.
All right, can you go see my screen again, Michael? I just resumed screen sharing. Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear it? Anybody can hear it?
Do something?
Taylor@TaylorArndt.com.
Oh, yeah.
Again, voiceover is probably way too fast, but that's not the point of this demo, is to have voiceover. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to paste this password in and press
Cancel
enter.
button. Closing dialog. In alert dialog. Close. Default button.
And
Unable to
then-
connect. The remote PC ended your session. If this keeps happening, contact your network administrator for assistance.
Oh, that's
Error code 0 by 3.
classic. So I do get that from time to time. So when I disconnect and then I reconnect, from time to time I do get that error message that you just saw, Michael. So
I'm not
sure
focused
the
on
cause
that. I'm not really focused on your screen share. I'm focused on the chat so that if I mishear something, I can do that. So
Okay.
one of the problems with Zoom is it does not play sound if you're not in the window on iOS. So that's why I'm not getting some of that.
Okay, well.
Close. Remote PC ended your session. Close.
So.
Default. Table. Cloud PC Business. Closing dialog. Cloud PC Business 2 CPU /8 now in Cloud PC Business. Show password. Password. Secure edit text. Paste. Cancel button. Closing dialog.
All right.
Now in Cloud PC Business 2
Now,
look
space,
at that.
Finder.
Look, Michael, hold on.
Okay.
Sorry. Look at that. Did y'all just see what happened there? For those who visual, sorry, Michael, I don't want to cut you off, but I replicated the voiceover bug.
Okay.
So look at that, y'all. So basically, what I did is I connected, and then immediately it showed a screen, right? It's up, but then it literally just went back away. You saw that?
Yep, and I think it crashed. So you do have to. Yeah.
But the point is, I'm trying to show that you can't have it with voiceover, right? So if I do it again, if I do Command right twice, it goes away. So what y'all have to do is you have to turn off voiceover.
Voiceover off.
And do this. Command right twice, and I'm in my Windows 365.
Yep.
And then I'm going to turn on NVDA because by default NVDA was not on. And there we go. NVDA is back on. And I'm in my remote desktop. So that was kind of that. So what is the point of this? Well, the point of this was to kind of show how I was able to do it with the Mac, but also show some of the issues, right? The voiceover one is especially. The other problem is the NVDA key, which Michael, you might have solved. But still, the NVDA key is definitely a big factor. And something we also might have figured out is that you may not be able to use sharp keys to map keys because it writes to the registry, and I'm not sure if you can actually write to the registry in Windows 365.
So Taylor, go ahead and do this as suggested on WhatsApp. Let's try holding your function key, press Enter, and then the letter N.
Okay, so now I gotta find that globe key again. Hold on.
It's at the very bottom left.
Okay.
N. Running applications toolbar folder view list. Taylor left parent. YouTube right parent. Dash Chrome 17 of 17.
So did it work for them though? Were they able to?
It did not appear to. No, nobody has tried that, but somebody has said that on WhatsApp that function enter should act as a.
And I pressed the right keys, I think. Let me make sure though.
No, unfortunately, Luis, you can do insert and caps lock or
Google Chrome
numpad.
Taylor left parent. YouTube right parent. Toolbar. Address and search bar edit as backslash.
Your computer audio is really loud.
Oh jeez.
And kind of distorty.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, set your Windows volume down some because it's coming through really loud.
The computer volume.
Yeah.
Folder view list. Start type top tab front page notification chevron but save user network remote S. Volume 1998, 1995, 999 80.
Go down to 70.
79, 71, 70.
Better?
But that's a bit better.
Is it good now? Is it good or go down?
69.
That's good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
User promoted
Sorry,
notification area toolbar. OneDrive dash folder view list. Taylor left parent. YouTube right parent.
I haven't streamed on this machine or did like demos. So yeah, so that is kind of how we do that. So what are the verdicts? Well, Windows 365
Hang on just a second. Let's answer some chats.
Oh, I'm sorry. Again, I can't see that. Let me open the chats. Let me open it up.
Start Windows. R. E. Level 1 restream chat.
I'm going to open up the chats because that way...
Okay.
Restream chat row 1 column 1.
So,
Restream,
like Luis was saying, you cannot map the NVDA, just answering his question, you cannot map the NVDA key anything other than caps lock, insert, or numpad insert. And other users have actually asked the developers of NVDA to do this for quite some time, like over 10 years. But it said that the general user doesn't need to do this, so why should we bother? Basically, is kind of what I've seen in forums. And, you know, I think that this is that point where we need to say that we need to do this. This needs to happen because remote desktop is here to stay.
Yep.
And
it's the future.
Yeah. Cloud computing is going to be a thing. We need screen readers need to have the ability to be flexible because even on a desktop, the only way to turn on caps lock in remote desktop is to press the caps lock key twice. So, yeah.
Asigjev Warp Claw. Well, if NVDA is open source, can we just not add a plugin?
Can we just not? Oh, you mean like an add-on stuff? We could potentially make an add-on. That
An add-on may help.
may help. Yeah, that could help.
Asigjev Warp Claw. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's all possible. But I think let's see how we're doing on our time.
Huh, Michael?
Oh, I was reading a text. And I think some folks are going to have to go record a podcast here pretty soon if they're not already. But it's interesting. I think, we've been going at this for about an hour now, but I think it's interesting. These are some of the things that we've seen, and it's doable. Windows 365 is definitely doable, and with some changes. Another thing we tried was auto hotkey, and that presents its own issues.
Yep.
But we're still trying to get an NVDA key or a JAWS key. And I kind of wonder if JAWS would be different, but it's usable. It's definitely doable. And I mean, Taylor, you're using it as your primary Windows source right now.
Well,
right?
yeah, because my Lenovo's done pretty much too, so I don't have a choice.
So, and on M1 Max, this is the only option, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, Parallels does have where you can install the ARM version of Windows, but it's still a beta. So, this is the one of the better options for that. But
Asigjev Warp Claw. Oh, how about a keyboard mapping software like those used for gaming? Where you can simulate a key on a different key.
So if you could recommend one of us, one of those to us, we will talk about it. And Luis, just if people aren't able to hear, just said, what about some key mapping software to where you could move a key to a different key? If you could send us some, we will talk about it on the next episode, which we'll do on our regular time on a Wednesday.
Yep.
And a little bit of a change of topic. I'm going to be actually streaming on here later this evening, either here or my personal channel. I'm going to be playing around with Streamlabs because one of the neat things is the reason why I like to use my camera for streaming is because of how good the camera is compared to the Mac. But one of the neat things is Streamlabs will let you use your iPad as a remote camera. So I'm going to be playing with that software program. I'm going to probably
Lauren
get a month of Streamlabs Prime.
We can hear chats.
Yeah, you can, Lauren. That's because I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, good. I'm glad y'all can hear chats.
Yep.
So you'll be able to, with Streamlabs, they have TTS built in. They have a lot of stuff. They even have some branding stuff that we can probably take advantage of. So I'm going to try that out. They even have a mobile app where you could actually just stream your camera or what's on your screen to the app. And I'm kind of excited about that for some mobile gaming reasons. So I'm pretty excited about playing around with that. And I'm going to get the Prime for that. So, I think one of our, our Wednesday stream, Taylor, we ought to do a Streamlabs versus Restream comparison.
Okay.
I think that'd be kind of fun, don't you think?
Yeah.
So, I will have one, you'll have the other. So we'll be able to compare our notes on all these things. And supposedly...
Asigjev Warp Claw. This video is now sponsored by Raid Shadow Legend Face with Tongue.
That's funny. So, yeah, I think this has been really cool. We're going to be streaming here in about 2 hours, the IA cast. So I think we need a break for a little bit. But I think, that this has given you guys a good understanding of some of the problems that we have with Windows 365, and hopefully it will allow people to see what you can and cannot do with it.
Yes.
I'm really excited though, because if we can get some of these problems fixed, then it's going to be, because Microsoft does intend to have this for personal use, later on down the line. And if they're going to do that, they need to iron out these bugs.
Yes, because a lot of users will probably get discouraged if they're not ironed out.
Mm-hmm. I have this keyboard. I can type in remote desktop. I can do Windows D. I can do several other things. I go and press one arrow key, and it brings my focus. Even without a screen reader, it takes my focus right out of that window.
Yeah.
Not cool. Not cool at all. So it's time for Microsoft to step up and fix these accessibility issues.
Yep.
Well, all right, guys. I think. Do you think we're good, Taylor? You got any final comments?
I think we're good.
All right. Well, this has been another awesome stream, and I want to thank everybody in the chat for talking with us and for encouraging us to eat good food. So, yeah. So, thanks everybody, and we'll be back for another stream.
All right.
VoiceOver Zoom.us terminal. Microsoft Remote Zoom.us one item. Zoom.us Zoom share toolbar one. Microsoft Remote desktop. Microsoft Remote terminal. Zoom.us mute audio stop video secure stop video button. Participate open poll new multi pause annotate apps button more button apps and pause share button new share button polls button open chat panel participant security video stop video audio submenu mute button
Stop sharing. Okay.
Audio submenu
stop
participants button security menu button participant open chat panel polls new share button multiple share submenu pause share button annotate button pause share button.